Good morning, guys. It is Friday. Before we get too far into the video, do you notice anything different? Notice how clean the windows are on our vehicle? I would love to say that we did that. And I originally had planned to go out and clean them before we went out today. But last night, after we got home from playing basketball and creek fishing, Mother Nature had a different plan for us. So Thursday night, we were treated to a wonderful thunderstorm, and thanks to Mother Nature, we did not have to clean our windows. We were under a tornado watch, and the wind was so strong and the rain was coming down so heavy, like it just cleaned our cars for us. So I'm grateful for that. Here we are in 75 North. We are going to Eastwood Metropark today. We are lucky to live near so many rivers. You see those white lines on the road? That is actually salt brine that is sprayed down by the Department of Transportation to prevent ice from bonding to the pavement. It lowers the freezing point of water, so they were expecting temperatures to drop below freezing. We're now at Eastwood Lake. We were the only ones there. There was one other car far off in the parking lot. Listen to this wind. It was so strong. If you've ever been on a cruise and you're on deck while you're waiting to sail away, like that strength of wind is what we were dealing with today. So even though it was 41 degrees, it felt much colder. This is Eastwood Lake. You are allowed to fish here, but you do need a license. You are allowed to boat here. On even days, you're allowed to have motorboats. On odd days, you can have sailboats or fishing boats as long as they're just at idle speed. And if you're kayaking or canoeing, you can come out here anytime. It doesn't matter what day. There's a very thin layer of ice on the lake today. There was some running water right near the shoreline. I was a little nervous to get too close because the wind was that strong. I was really afraid it would just cause me to take a misstep and go straight into the water. So I stayed back. But of course, Steve has no fear, and he goes all the way up to the edge of the lake. We will be back this summer to kayak this. Steve prefers river fishing, so I don't know that you guys will get very many lake fishing videos from us, but we will be back when the weather is warmer to show you the difference in the water levels. Got back in our car to drive to the actual Eastwood Park. These warning signs are new. I did not see them last year. Maybe they were up and I just didn't notice them, but unfortunately there have been several drownings in this river. This is the Mad River. You'll see a part here in a second where the steps used to always be there, or they're still there. They always were there, but the wooden fence is new. That's been up for a couple of years now. I cannot wait to bring you guys back in the summertime, or at least when the water levels have receded, so you could truly appreciate how much of this is underwater. If you're not familiar with the area, this doesn't look like that big of a deal. But when we come back in the summer, you'll see like this normally has so little water that Steve can walk out there to go fishing. I wouldn't, but he does. If you watched the Cox Arboretum video, I had taken you guys to the children's nature play area. Of course, you couldn't see anything because it was all buried under snow. And I had mentioned that there were several metro parks that had nature play areas. This is a new one they're building at Eastwood Metropark. Obviously, the orange fence around it, we're not supposed to go in, but the wind from last night blew a lot of the fence down. So I was going to go walk into it and take you guys around. And I looked over my shoulder and I saw a park ranger, and I thought, that may not be the best idea. I just was not in the mood to get in trouble that day, so I didn't take you guys around it, but hopefully that'll be ready by this spring. That is a thing to know. Park rangers do patrol this park regularly because like this here, the lagoon, You can fish this without a fishing license, but Eastwood Lake, which I showed you before, you do need a fishing license. So they are out there checking licenses regularly. This lagoon here, you're also allowed to kayak. I had to look up why those cinder blocks were there. I was like, there's no way that's meant to prevent a flood because there are holes in it. The water will come straight through. Well, after looking it up, it said that Eastwood Metropark was using these cinder blocks for conservation and structural purpose. They're used to create fish habitats by sinking them to the bottom of the lake. So that's interesting. It was interesting to me anyways. I don't know if the ones that are there fell in naturally or if that was part of the ones that were pushed in. But knowing that they are not attached to anything, I stayed off of them. Again, Steve, he has no fear. Again, you are allowed to kayak this lagoon. I have not kayaked the whole lagoon yet. That is on my to-do list. These right here are the platforms you can use to launch your kayaks from. The parking lot is right across the sidewalk. So it's very easy access. You will not have to drag your kayak far at all. These geese are all over almost all of the metro parks. Cox Arboretum doesn't really have a lot of them, but they can be mean sometimes. So I was just really happy that they left us alone. Eastwood Metropark floods a lot. And so we came prepared mentally that we may not be able to do the trails. So we decided to go on the bike path. It's the Mad River Trail portion of the bike path. It connects Eastwood Metropark to Riverscape Metropark. It's about a 3-mile walk. And it's about 3 p.m. So 3 miles there and 3 miles back. Again, I don't know what it is with us that we like to play around with the sunlight and whether or not we'll get back in time before it gets dark. But we went on the bike trail and decided to go ahead and take our chances and do the 3-mile walk to Riverscape. Walking there was brutal. The wind was so strong and we're walking against it. And it just it took so much energy to do the walk. So coming back was super easy. The wind was in our favor. So that was enjoyable. The other thing, the sun was just playing with my emotions today. Going towards Riverscape, it was so cloudy, but if I turned around and looked behind me, it was bright and sunny and beautiful. But we didn't have any rain while we were out, so that was good. The temperature, again, was about 41 degrees. Not too bad. The wind made it feel like it was in the 30s, which isn't horrible compared to the 17 degrees we were dealing with a couple of weeks ago, so I'll take it. As we get closer to Riverscape Metropark, the bike trail down by the river floods a lot. So I knew we might have a section of the bike trail we would not be able to walk through. Also, we're getting to the part where the river is actually coming closer and closer to where we need to walk. I hate seeing glitter and debris. It makes me sad. And I know some of these pictures are just I don't know. It looks like if it was me, I'd be I am not going there. That looks so dirty and ugly. And it does along certain parts of the river, which is really sad. So here we are coming upon the first portion of the bike trail that is completely submerged. I don't know how deep it is. I wasn't even going to try to walk through it, so I went ahead and went to the grass. I climbed up on this little concrete wall and took my time walking along that. It's about a 45-degree angle incline. Here's what it looks like from up there. Again, we'll be back this summer. There are so many festivals down here at Riverscape. Just being down here made me excited. Oh, the ice skating rink. I knew there was an ice skating rink down here, but it just slipped my mind that it was still open. So that's the warming tent. And you'll see these black rubber mats that are on the ground. They ask that if you do have your ice skates on to please keep them on the rubber mats. And what's so nice about it is the rubber mats go all the way to and into the bathrooms. And the bathrooms have running water. That's Dayer Ballpark where the Dayton Dragons play. Parking, you do have to pay if you come during the day, Monday through Friday. Weekends, parking is free on the streets. And so many festivals this summer. I can't wait. I'm so ready for warmer weather. I would love to come down here at nighttime. It's a little hard to see, but the trees do still have Christmas lights wrapped around the trunks, and you can see the lights that are strung between the trees. It must be so beautiful. This is another part of the bike trail that is completely submerged. Right there where that green gazebo is, all of that normally you can walk on. People fish from there. Again, you'll need a license to fish on the river. Right there to the left, you can see where the bike trail ends because it's going under the water. And if you look way off in the distance, that's where it comes back out from under the water. Again, I will have to wait till this water level goes down and come back out here to do another video to show you those. There are more steps. They just go straight into the river at this point. It's all flooded. Walking back, it was a lot easier to see where the Mad River joins the Great Miami River. I don't know how we were able to walk those 6 miles in 2.5 hours, but we made it back to Eastwood Metropark and we still had some sunlight. So we decided to walk along the yellow trail just for a little bit. We didn't do the full yellow trail, but I wanted to get a couple shots for you guys of the smaller waterfalls that are on this trail. This is another spot at Eastwood where you can put your kayaks in. You'll see some danger signs and keep out signs. That's referring to if you were to put your kayak in, go upstream and make an immediate right. And again, once the water levels go down, I cannot wait to show you guys what is back there. But obviously, there was no way for us to even try to get back there today. But this, if you go into Eastwood Metropark, the second entrance, and then the first turn off to your right is where you would go if you wanted to put your kayaks in here. They have a little roundabout that's really easy if you have a truck that you don't have to worry about backing up in a tight spot. But for today, we're just going to observe it from the safety of the shore. You're good. Oh, that is so pretty.